One of the questions that I think a lot have after playing through the 3.1 story is, what did Aemeath exactly do? It's very understandable that it's rather confusing, so in this video I thought I'd quickly explain it to you to provide some clarity. It should be pretty obvious, but there will be spoilers, so play through the story first before watching the video. To put it simply, Aemeath's actions at the end of 3.1 is what you would call in time travel a predestination paradox. When something you do by traveling to the past indirectly makes the present or the future possible. To provide a simple and often overused example, imagine you time travel to the past to kill Hitler. You time travel back to a trench in World War I or something, and perhaps you shoot a soldier that's peeking over a trench. Although you didn't know, what you did might have actually been to shoot the soldier that was going to kill Hitler. So through your actions in time travel, you've actually committed the action that allows Hitler to survive and thus the present to be possible. That's basically the predestination paradox. All of this works in Aemeath's story because she can travel through the Fernodian's dimension, the void space. It's a place that doesn't adhere to space and time, and as such, multiple states of time and being can exist at once. So when Aemeath enters void space, if she has enough power and the space is stable enough, then she can time travel, which thus makes a predestination paradox possible. Let's place this on a chronological timeline for the easiest understanding. Thousands of years ago, an exostrider delivering a sentinel caught the attention of Aleph 1, which chased it to Solaris, passed through the Stratagate, and resulted in the giant fight between them. However, the problem was that the exostrider is a mass-manufactured delivery machine. It's not meant for combat, it's basically a glorified FedEx employee that ended up having to fight a cosmic abomination. So the question is, how did this delivery man robot end up being able to nearly win the battle and steal the Fernodian behind the Stratagate? We'll answer that question later. Regardless, the exostrider was eventually able to seal the Fernodian in space past the Stratagate, and the rest is history. The Royans were driven underground, the exostrider took out its heart in order to serve as a sun, and it created the land of Lahairoi that we know today. Moving forward, the rest of the history of Lahairoi moved as we know it. The Royans thrived underground, and eventually the Space Trek Collective arrived and built the Star Torch Academy. In the near present, a Royan woman and a foreign researcher would give birth to Aemeath, who we know would lose her parents to the Void Storm. In an act of desperation, a young Aemeath would eventually make it to the surface, where she is rescued by a past rover and raised until she becomes a student. In the next phase, we know that Aemeath becomes a student, eventually unlocking herself as a synchronist. About 10 years before the present, Aemeath died in her piloting cockpit, merging with the exostrider and becoming a digital ghost. After wandering for about 10 years, she meets Rover again, which is where the story of 3.1 actually occurs. And that brings us, of course, to the ending of 3.1. What Aemeath actually does is that because she got a lot of her power back due to what you and her have been doing in recovering her existence in the story, she used that in order to be able to time travel to the past, to when the Fernodian and Aleph 1 fought thousands of years ago. As we said before, the exostrider usually shouldn't have anywhere close to the power to deal with the Fernodian. However, the Aemeath at the end of the 3.1 story time travels back to when the Fernodian first arrived, to empower the exostrider to be strong enough to defeat the Fernodian through resonance, and thus make the entire future or our present of Lahairoi possible.
Cause effect. Perfect closed loop. But my meeting with her all those years ago, that wasn't the cause. It was the effect.
Right.
Only by resonating with the exostrider and dying as a synchronist all those years ago, and only in this forum could I cross void space, return to the past, and power the exostrider to save Lahairoi.
So it's a closed loop of time. If she did not exist, then Lahairoi would not exist at all, because the Fernodian Aleph 1 would have broken through. Okay.
And only because Lahairoi survived could she have ever come here, rescue my younger self, and let me grow up here to become the chosen synchronist in the first place.
So it's a closed paradoxical loop. Oh, okay. This is Aemeath's predestination paradox. If she didn't do this, then the past event where the Exostrider managed to steal the Frenodian would thus be impossible. The Frenodian probably would have broken and destroyed Lahairoi and possibly the whole of Solaris free, and Aemeath as a person thus wouldn't have been born, met Rover, and the 3.1 story wouldn't have even happened. It is expressly because Aemeath sacrificed herself by time traveling that this closed loop could even occur in the first place. What she did by time traveling to the past is what allows the present to be possible. This is why, for example, Aemeath doesn't remember saving you in 3.0, because it's heavily inferred that within the void space, the Aemeath that saved you is actually from the end of the 3.1 story, who is on their way to sacrifice herself to continue this predestination paradox that assures that Lahairoi can even continue to exist. And with that, we reach the end. If Aemeath sacrificing herself to save the world is a delicate closed loop which keeps the very existence of Lahairoi stable, then how can you save her without destroying the world in the process? That's going to be a question, I suppose, that we answer in future patches. Hopefully, this video helped you understand the conceptual basis of the ending of 3.1 and Aemeath's sacrifice. I'll be working on the symbolism and reference analysis of Aemeath in the meantime, so if you like my content, feel free to like, subscribe, or even support my work with a donation or becoming a channel member. But as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.
Don't try to save everyone on your own. This time, you have to trust me.
No. If you do this, there's no coming back. The Strider Gate will shut you out forever.
This is the only way. The loop will close. And Lahairoi will survive.
Aemeath!
And we will find each other in the Frostland.